Welcome. My name is Mark Anthony Dubose Jr. I was born July 4th, 1986. And I want to say thank you for tuning in to try to figure out some more about your dog. Because there's something I want to talk about today is a kind of going to start a video of the finish of the last video that I just posted and talking about the lifestyles. What's your lifestyle with your dog? What are you looking for? What are you expecting from your dog? What do you want to be able to do with your dog? And that's what I think that we should be paying attention to with trying to get, like I said, the information on what is it that we want to say, like, follow to be able to get some sort of success with our dogs. Because a lot of cases, you could be watching someone who has a dog that, like, looks good. It's a really, really nice looking dog. And you're like, I like how that dog sits. I like how it downs. I like the recall. I like all that. But at the same time, majority of the time you see this dog in all these videos, you're seeing it in like a, I'll say, well, we say it in the dog training world, a controlled environment where it's in a place that is like such as a training building or a training facility. And it's never anything that you ever see, like anything in public where the dog is just hanging out, where someone is just sitting at a park bench, or someone is just doing what your lifestyle is. So that's the main thing that I want everyone to really understand on what I'm always going to speak a little differently than what I noticed that a lot of people do with their dogs is my lifestyle is different. My lifestyle isn't I want my dog to look really good because I have some sport or some competition that I want to be able to enter into. So my dog has to always be on peak high performance and know all these commands and be able to be like this perfect, pristine looking dog. No, I'm just a person that's I'm going to say a regular person that I see a lot of people out doing what I'm doing, walking trails like this, going to parks that I go to, and just doing stuff that I do, that I just hang out with my dogs. I like to go places with them and just be with them. I like to sit in the house and be able to just eat my food without them hounding me, just be able to just have a dog and just have a dog and not have to like worry about, I'm going to say, extraness. I don't want a dog that can sit really good, that can speak on command, and that can do this perfect downstay in the middle of the intersection and do all that stuff. So that's the way that I talk about with dogs, video after video after video that I keep on posting. It's about me working with these dogs in a way of just being able to have, where I'm going to say is what I believe would bring most people the happiest on this planet, more than just what you're currently doing, is have a nice, true companion dog. A dog that's just there with you. A dog that is just able to be around when you need them to be around, and when you don't need them to be around, they're good to go without being around. A dog that is just like ready to just work for you because it absolutely enjoys you. It really appreciates you. It just, the term I'll say is love, but love is one thing. It's for something to just simply, man, we are flooded out today again. Love is one thing, but like is the main word that I want to be able to use here. That I want my dogs and people and everything to at least be able to just like say, like me, because that's a very powerful thing that they don't. This is gonna sound messed up, but it is what it is. Your kids are gonna love you, and they kind of don't get a choice. But do they like you? Liking you is a choice that you can say to that other thing, like, you actually want to be here because you're not said forced to be here, but you're just here because you're here, because you enjoy to be here. And that's what I want my dogs to be like with me. I want them to be with me because they just enjoy to be with me, and things are good to go, that I don't need to like worry about at the end of the day. But I'm going to continuously keep on trying to get my dogs to be able to understand is more freedom of being able to know that they're just going to hang around because they want to hang around with no leash or not. Not that every dog should be off leash and all that, because I know y'all's situations in most people's areas. But even me, the only reason I leash my dog when there's a lot of people around is public perception. Not because I'm worried that the dog is going to take off from me. And that's something that I know that the dogs get into a really nice place when they actually like me, because they enjoy to be with me. And that is what I'm constantly talking about in my videos, why I'm more on the side of talking about giving respect and trust and all these things that majority of dog training just really doesn't really give a crap about. And they say these terms, but they talking about these terms in a sense that it's about the control aspect of it. It's about the dictator force aspect of it, not an aspect of what is this dog actually looking for. In the way of, the dog is going to look at me because I've got treats on me all the time, and once I get the treats gone, then what's going on? We are on a serious adventure today. Like this, I don't know if many other people like going on. Even the dogs are confused where we go right now. We going straight through. I'm going straight through. I don't know where y'all going. Y'all figure it out. Y'all can go around, but I'm not going around. But how many people like going on crazy wild adventures? But this is just what I do. You know, I go on the trail sometimes, but other times I just do some random, weird, crazy, off the wall type stuff. Just because. And that's something that I want more people to really think about when it comes down to what you're paying attention to with how you want your dog to be. Because a lot of the training stuff, we're not looking at the dogs as far as being an individual. Of they have needs, they have desires. We're looking at them as, I can just tell it what to do, how to do, when to do, where to do, and it's just gonna have no choice but to do that. And that's for me to just, I can't accept that, because I don't live that type of lifestyle. I don't want to have to be all on top of every little thing that's going on, because at the end of the day, that's just not realistic. It's not going to give you any sort of, like, well, I'll say stable, but reliable results. Someone would say to me, oh, my dog's more reliable because of this collar or this and this training I put on it. But at the end of the day, it's not, it's only reliable, basically, like straight up, when you're with it in that dog's face. But if you take a step away from that dog is no longer reliable. If you tell that dog to be able to be free and just run and do what it does, the dog is no longer reliable. And that for me is not anything that I want. And this is why I've gotten away from, like I said, most of the dog training stuff that's out here, because I want to just be able to hang out and explore with my dogs. I want to be, oh man, this is super wet. Ooh, we just gonna get our feet a little wet today. It'll be okay. I want to be able to just go places and just be able to basically relax with my dogs without having to worry about, oh, sit, oh, down, oh, this, oh, that, oh, he broke it, you better fix it, and throwing treats and doing all that. I just don't want to do that. I just want to be able to just hang out. Oh, the main thing is, I know a lot of us go out and do stuff, but in reality, I spend majority of time at the house. Me personally, I'm more outside the house than inside the house, but still it's the same concept, that I'm not out in a place like this majority of the day. So majority of the time, I want my dogs to be able to relax at the house without me having to be on edge about anything, without me having to worry about anything. Here you go, girl. Without me having to stress about anything. Just, we could just hang out and everything is good to go. So my main thing that I'm going to be talking about with being able to get that is going to be the way of exercise, of getting that dog to exercise, giving that dog, not only just exercise is a over umbrella word. Even on top of that umbrella, exercise is a word. And then you can break that down into all kinds of different things to be able to give your dog what it is that your dog is looking for. Because exercise isn't really, it goes two ways. One side of it can be, like, say, fun, and the other side of it can be work. But at the end of the day, if the dog is doing the, like, work that that it's supposed to do, it's not the work that we see as human beings. Such as, man, I can even say that about myself. Me helping people working with dogs, helping people be able to get their dogs, because something that I'm noticing nowadays is a lot of these dogs don't even know how to do, like, say, their work. They don't even know, they need to be coached into it. They need to be taught it. They need to be shown how to even chase something. Some dogs don't even know how to chase, and you got to teach them how to be able to do it. Some dogs don't know how to bring the ball back. When they love to go and take the ball, but they don't know how to bring it back to you. So they'll go and get it and then drop it halfway, and you're sitting here walking more than the dog is running. So you're like, oh, this sucks. This isn't going to work. So we got to, like, teach the dogs how to do all this. So my work, I really enjoy my work. It's exciting. It's like, it's so fun. When someone says, I'm trying to figure out how to get my dog to be able to get tired, I'm like, oh, I'll be there. Give me 20 minutes. And it's so much fun. It's enjoyable. But someone else, your work is like, you, I don't like using that hate word, but you hate your work, man. You hate your job. You hate everything about it. So when you're living in that sense, you're going to look at even me saying your dog needs some sort of work as like, no, it doesn't, because I hate my work. So why would I put that upon my dog? And that's not what the dogs see it as. The dogs see it as something that is so exciting, so fun, so just absolutely amazing, that it's just the greatest thing in the world for them to be able to do. And most of the play that I want to talk about doing with dogs is the work that they need. And you give that dog that work, and that dog is just going to be a very, very, very nice dog for you. A super nice dog. You're going to see that your dog is getting its needs met by doing some sort of its work. And it's just going to relax and be a nice dog for you. And it doesn't come down to the whole concept of, like, all the obedience stuff that I've really come to realize. Because the more obedient stuff that I basically push and shove onto the dogs, the more pushy they just keep getting, the more they're just giving me more attitude. Even when it's set up in a like fun game, even when we're like playing tug or we're like playing fetch and I'm just down, sit, down, down, the dogs just get like, just let me do what I gotta do, man, so that I could just get this out of me and not worry about this extraness in the middle of it. Because at the end of the day, I get it. While someone would say, oh, the due to obedience for the mental stimulation of the dog. But if the dog is doing the work that the dog needs to do, it's getting the mental stimulation already. So you don't need to like add extra on top of it. If the dog is really all about that chase, the dog is just gonna be in his brain trying to get it. And when it can't get it, that's the, well, I'll use that word, frustration. The frustration that it just builds and then it finally gets it, that's already using its mental mind to be able to do what it needs to do. It doesn't need anything added extra into it. And that's where in most cases, the dogs don't really want to, like, say, perform all that great, because they're just like, they're going to make me sit before we do this. And the dog's like, it's just going to start giving pushback. It's like this, because it's not part of its natural makeup of doing what it's supposed to do. We're just adding some extra foreign, weird stuff to the dog to make it just have to do what we want it to do. And at the end of the day, I've just realized, this is why for me, the way I am and the lifestyle that I am, I want to be able to just allow my dog to be able to, for one, just trust in me that we're going to do stuff without it having to be a situation where they run into, like, granted, we do stuff that sometimes they don't want to do, but doing weird extra foreign things that the dog doesn't want to do, such as today, if they're like, I don't really want to go for a walk out there, which my dogs have never protested about, more than likely because I just don't do any foolishness along the walk. We just come for a walk and we just do whatever the heck we do. So they're not really going to give me protests. But if I was at the house trying to get them to do something else, such as getting this dog to, I don't know what that dog doesn't like doing. He just likes doing, but again, my dogs just like doing everything because I don't add anything extra really to it. I just let them do it. And then in the end, I might do a sit or whatever just to see who they are, see what they represent. But in reality, the more and more that I've gotten away from that, the more and more they want to engage and just do more activities with me, as opposed to it being like I don't want to use that word, but halfway. They're halfway performing. They're not performing all out. They're not going all out. They're not doing the whole thing. Because like right now, this Dalmatian, she's on chase mode. But I don't want to ever say that anything is just a perfectly safe place, because even on my property, it's not too safe. But I'm in an area that I'm not too worried about it. I'm allowing her to just be able to do what she needs to do. So when she notices, because this is actually the first area that I let that shepherd off leash, it looks different. I wish I had video of it a year ago, because this looks much different. A year ago, this was like desert. It was dead. The water was way like 40, 50 feet back that way. This was all mud. It was just open. It was like an open desert. I could see things for miles out here. And this is the first place I let him off leash. And this is the area where he knows he can run and get it. He can run. He could be free. He could do what he wants to do. But then when we get on these tight trails, he knows I only go so far. I don't chase anything on these tighter trails. I stay nearby. And he understands the difference between the rules. And that's why I want everyone to really kind of just understand what it is that I do, because if what it is that you're looking for from your dog, if it lines up with what it is that I do, then yeah, what I talk about is more than likely going to work out for you. Because I don't want my dogs to be, basically the word that is just thrown around is controlled. I don't want control on my dogs. I want them to listen just because it's something that we are in tune with each other wanting to do with each other. Not because of just, I don't know what else to use with words with that, because I've realized the more that I would try to control my dogs, the more that they just didn't listen to me at all. Like everything was just a hot mess. Like even today, day by day, my recall is getting much better with this dog, because the only thing I really care to call her back from is if there's a person or another dog coming up. Everything else, or she wants to go deep, because she already knows not to go too deep into the woods to go try to chase deer. We pretty much squashed that in the butt. So she stops, but I don't want to just do it just because that starts to bring confusion, where she's not able to just like go all out and do what she needs to do. But they understand the differences. So when we're here, she knows, hey, I got some freedom to be able to do what I want to do. And I'm not trying to control every little thing that she's doing, knowing that at the end of the day, she's not going to get into anything dangerous. Nothing bad's really going to happen. I mean, there's always that chance. There's always that risk. You drive a car anywhere in the world, you got risk behind it. There's risk of living. And I don't want to put so much rules on top to think that I'm going to be able to mitigate that risk, but because that risk is just always going to be there. But the more that I'm on top of her, every little thing, like right now, if I'm like, come here, stop, do this, the more that it just builds in them that they just want to do more and more and more. And it just starts to get more and more crazy. And then they just really don't want to listen more and more and more, basically. And that's the part with me that I've realized with most of the like dog training stuff, and not only just that, but most of us as humans, that we've really just put too much on top, standards that are too high, restrictions that are too much. And that's what's really just shutting the dogs down, because the dog's not able to basically be a dog anymore. And it's just going absolutely wild. And it's showing its dogness. And it's not something that is basically healthy at the end of the day. It's something that is starting to become very, very dangerous. Man, they way down there. They're chasing these, what is it? What are those herons? Little big old white heron. But it's something that just we're like we're thinking the worst all the time, as opposed to just realizing that things are gonna, for the most part, be all right. I am nervous of dogs running out the front door, living in a neighborhood, basically just getting hit by a car. And depending on the type of neighborhood you live in, these people, I know I used to live in them. These people, it's the speed limit post that says 25 or 30, and folks be driving 60 down them roads. So that's the fastest way to get a dog hit by a car in reality. And that's something that, that's just, you can't let them just chase and go run off and do what they do in certain locations. But in other places, just find you that spot to be able to give them that freedom. Especially, I'm gonna be the first one to say this, that I know we all have a sticky thought process of what these dog parks are all about. But in reality, dogs know dogs better than humans know dogs. And the dogs, if the dog senses that it's able to just run and do what it do, because a lot of your dogs are simply barking like crazy on leash because it wants to meet another dog. But if you get that dog set up in a scenario to be able to do that, the dog's going to let that go. And one of the best places to do that is where there's a bunch of dogs going to be at. So the dog could just run, be free, be wild, be a dog, and just do what the dog needs to do. And the dog's going to finally just like, oh, okay, well, I got that out of my system. I'm good to go. Because even like right now, because my Dalmatian really, giving her 2 more months without me having her where she was before, she would be a dog that would be barking at everything on leash, because she has this extreme, like, I want to meet everybody. I want to meet every dog. And if you don't like basically get that in control, I don't want to use that word control, but get that in the sense that she's able to do that without it feeling like she's never able to do that, she's gonna get worse and worse and worse. That she'll start barking and start doing all that because that frustration builds of, I want to party, I want to play, I want to have fun, and she never gets a chance to do that. So that's where that bark starts to happen. But now she started getting much better because, hey, I put her with my other dogs. You want to run and play with the dog? I've got a dog at the house to play with. And then we were out in public, and I didn't really let these two play at all. And now they can, because they're starting to I had to work them separately for a little bit, because my shepherd, he started getting in his feelings of like just doing too much. And it's fascinating. As far as they took off, as far as they were running, as far as I couldn't even see them for a moment, they're still coming back. They're still here. They're not doing anything crazy, because in reality, I believe they go as far as they can outside of chasing deer. That's why I don't let them chase no deer, because the deer can go. Like squirrels and rabbits and things like that, they don't go too far. So the dogs don't chase too far. So I'm not nervous about those. I'm nervous about the big animals, because then they'll run to the point that they don't realize where you are anymore. Where it's like out here, they're chasing these birds and stuff and doing what they're doing. They're keeping in check with where I'm at. So if I turn around, they'll start to follow me, because they're like, oh, he's not coming towards us anymore. So we got to go find him. This is just what I'm going to say is how smart these dogs are. They're not dumb. So they're always like, where are you? What's going on? Because there's so many videos those are the cute videos I see of the dog parks where you kind of like slip away and the dog's trying to find you. And the dog's like, oh, where's mama at? Where mama at? Where'd she go? Where'd she go? And the dog is like searching and looking for you. That is such an incredible thing for your dog to be able to be in, outside of course, it's nervous that moment, but you know that your dog is always looking for you. Your dog is always trying to figure out where you're at, what's going on with you, where'd you go to, what's happening. That dog is so in tune with you. It's just, that's such a beautiful thing to be able to have with a dog, so that the dog knows. She's actually swimming. Are you swimming? No, she's walking. So that dog knows that where you are at all times. They're always keeping you in check. So they only go so far. And that's the part where just relax some with your dog. Get it to be able to go to a place to be able to just let it run. I know that like 99% of dog trainers out here are talking about how bad this is and how bad that is and how I don't do this and how I don't do that. But yet at the same time, 99% of dog trainers don't have a dog that you actually want. They got a dog that's just always in control, that's never able to be free to be able to do anything. You know, some of us, we all don't live the same type life, but yet dog training wants to make all of us live the same type life. And that's where, for me, I'm kind of gonna push, do a lot of pushback with that, because I don't live that kind of life. I live a life where things are gonna be much more open and much more free and much more relaxed and much more just, I'm gonna straight use that word, is fun and enjoyable. Not just some circus show act that everything's gotta look perfect and be perfect, but just have fun and just basically that word is all I wanna use right there, is have fun. Man, we stress so much in life already with everything going on, with trying to get work, trying to make money, trying to pay the bills, trying to do this, that I don't want that with my dang dog. I want to be able to just have fun and relax and just be able to just sit down and be able to have a good time. And that's what I want to be able to bring to more people with your dog. I don't want you to have to already be stressed in life and then have to have more stress because now I got this dog at home that's acting like a chaos. And then these trainers are all telling me that I got to do this with them, I got to do this with them, and if I don't do all these things with them, then they're not going to be good dogs, and just running into scenarios like that's no fun at the end of the day. It just isn't. You know, some people, like I said in the last video, some people just they love that sense of control. They love all of the rules. They love it. They love to be able to say something one time to something, and it just does it. And if it doesn't, then they can then they can say no to that dog, correct that dog, get that dog back in place. They absolutely love that type of relationships, and that's not what everybody wants at the end of the day. Most of us are not that hardcore disciplinary type person, and we can't go anywhere now. And you can have a really nice dog without having to be that hardcore disciplinary type person. You don't have to be that way. You can, and that's something that I want to be able to make sure that more and more people really just understand. You do not need to change who you are to have a nice dog. You simply just need to do stuff with that dog so that dog can understand who you are, and that dog will start to understand how you work and how you function on your everyday natural way of being, not in some weird artificial way that you're trying to be something that you're not, because you just can't keep up with that. And that's why I'm going to say most people are struggling with the dogs. We're trying to do stuff that other people want from us as opposed to what we want. And you're going to fail. You're going to fail, because at the end of the day, even what I do with mine, but granted, I do extra walks. You see me doing these walks. You watch these places I go to. Hey, she's actually swimming now. You good, girl? I don't know why. I'm not gonna lie. That makes me nervous. But I know I can run in there and get her any moment. As long as she don't go in the middle of that lake. But I don't think she will. That's a good girl. A dog that really didn't like water at first when I brought her out here, to now she's starting to learn how to swim. It's absolutely amazing. It's a very interesting thing. But it's very interesting. But we don't need to adopt what someone else does. We just simply need to be able to just do what we want with our dogs. And because like I said, mine, I do these walks, but I specifically wanted a dog to be able to do more walks, longer walks with. So I purposely am building these dogs up and conditioning these dogs, working these dogs like crazy to be able to build their stamina, to be able to build their endurance so that I can be able to do further walks, because this is what I do. And most people don't walk as much as what I walk. But I'm not going to say to you, the only way you're going to have a nice dog is if you're doing these 2, 3, 4. I mean, yesterday I was out for like 5 hours, just going, walk, hanging out, doing what I was doing. That you don't need to do that to have a nice dog. You need to do what you like to do. Because in most cases, I'm going to say this and say this again because I've seen this and I just saw it again yesterday. It takes 10 to 15 minutes of doing the work that your dog needs to do to be able to get the exercise that it needs. And in most cases, you can't do that every day. You just can't. You have to build the dogs like crazy to be able to get them to understand how to do that every day. And it's something that it's not easy to do. So you don't have to go on a 5-hour walk to be able to have nice dogs in your home. This is what I do, because I specifically chose dogs that are capable of doing that and started working them to be able to do that. And your dog is more than likely how my Johnny man is. I can't take him out here to do this. That dude would, he'd probably have a heart attack if I took him every single day, all week, doing what it is that I do out here. He couldn't handle it. And that's what most dogs are. So don't think that you got to go on these long walks every day. I am going to say, at first, to get your dog tired, because it's probably never done anything like that before. Get them to that point that they are exhausted. And then they're gonna look at you with the level of just appreciation, relax, calm down, and then look at you and say, oh, okay, thank you. Like, appreciate that. You never really gave me that before. Now that you've finally given that to me, now we can move on and move forward with life and do other stuff and do more things. But the main thing is, I just know that most people are not happy with the high level of, where I'm going to say, is the control aspect of the dogs. That's why you're stumbling and fumbling and things just aren't working, because you don't want that. You want more freedom. You want more chill. You want more just hang out. You want more just being content and not having to worry about everything being so perfect and so precise all the time. And that's where I want to be someone that's going to always speak something differently about these dogs, because I don't want to control them. I want them to have fun. I want them to be able to enjoy life. I like seeing them every single day just keep getting better and better and better, more and more chill, more and more happy, more and more relaxed. Like right now, this Dalmatian, she's about to be, oh, that thing's gonna fly. It's flying away now, because now they know it's chasing them. But I want her to be able to just have that freedom, have that joy. And that brings happiness to me, seeing that she's happy. And a lot of this stuff, the dogs aren't actually happy. They're like frustrated in a negative way. And I want to be able to help people be able to get out of that, so that you can actually have fun. Because there's something about, this goes with the kids and everything. I notice this with my kids. When I see that they're happy, running, doing what they're doing, man, it's just the greatest feeling on the planet to see them just doing what they enjoy, doing good at it, and just excelling at it. There's something that is just so amazing about that. And that's what I want more people to be able to be in, as opposed to watching things just like it's not so exciting. Watch this straight up. It's not so exciting sitting down watching your kids do some math problems, some homework. I don't know if they don't really have homework anymore for kids in school, which is weird to me, but I guess it's kind of cool. But if they had homework to do, sitting there watching them do some math problems, like that's no fun. And that's what dog trading represents: math problems and English work and things like that. And at the end of the day, that's something that is, I can't even say that with kids. I personally, just my personal beliefs, I don't believe that that's needed for a kid to be able to, for any human being to be a functioning human being on this planet. We don't need to do that. We need to understand how to, for one, do our work. It's the way I was just talking about my work earlier. It's not devastating. It's not hard. It's fun. It's exciting. And when you're in your true thing of doing work, life is fun. Life is exciting. And that's what I want more people to just really be able to have with your dog, because that's what's going to bring the joy out of you. That seeing the dog have fun doing its work, running around, doing what it needs to do, having fun, and that's just really gonna calm you down and relax you. And when you're calm or relaxed, because now you're happy and satisfied with your dog, that's where the naturalness of my leash reactivity is gonna go away. Because now you're calm, now you're relaxed, now you're more excited about your dog, you're more happy with your dog, you're not like frustrated with them anymore. You're just having a good time with them. And all that just comes around, where things just get better and better and better. And once the dog sees that you're calm and relaxed, then it's going to start to calm down and relax as well. Things aren't going to be so wild. And that's just what I want to be a person about with talking about these dogs, and make sure it's very clear that I don't control every aspect of my dog. I do my best to give them absolutely more freedom. And the more freedom that they have, the more exciting it is for me as well. And not only just exciting, but the more simple ease of life that I start getting. The more that the dogs start to pay attention and listen to me, the more the dogs start to respond to me when I'm asking them to do something. And when I just am controlling every little, like right now, this whole time, so this past, 20, 30 minutes, they're out here running. If I was trying to do anything in the middle of that, like trying to call her back over and over, it's not gonna allow her to just be able to be free and run and just have a good time. And that's where we're gonna have hostility. I just want them to have times that there's just a dog, just go, just make it happen. And then when we're done, okay, we're done. Now let's move on. Let's go do something else. And that just really brings like them to listen to me way even more, because they're like, oh, you just gave me uninterrupted time to be able to just run, play, and have fun. And they're just like, they're just like, basically all I can say is say thank you. And then for me, I know their limits. They can't go that far. And this 30 minutes is enough right here to just get my dogs to be, we're good to go, especially running in this water. That's some hard stuff to do. So they're out here getting an extreme amount of exercise, just extreme amount of freedom. And then they're going to finish this exercise in freedom and look at me and say, okay, well, thanks for letting me do that. Now, what do you want to do? Where you want to go? And then they're just going to say, I just want to go home and go curl up and just lay down and go to sleep. And that's in reality what most people are looking for. And I'm just going to say this again. It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot. It just takes you getting up and actually just doing something. And the doing something is not obedient stuff, I'm going to say again. It's just doing stuff. It's just doing anything. It's going out and making something happen. Throwing a ball. I mean, throw a rock for anything. Just get the dog engaged to do something with you so that it can start to appreciate you and just have fun with them. And then that's when the real, I'm going to say, success comes. It's not a matter of how much more control you put on the dog to get the dogs to be able to be good. That doesn't, in my experience, my opinion, that doesn't bring a nice dog, a well-obedient dog. A well-behaved dog brings an amazing dog, a dog that just listens just because it wants to, not because it's forced to. Thank you. Something about walking around doing what I'm doing with these dogs that just really, it's not only just entertaining, it's also a form of, like, how can I say this? Like, it brings something not only to the dog but to me as well. It allows me to be able to be out. It allows me to be able to feel, it's kind of cloudy today, but the sun is out and it's super bright for some reason. It allows me to be able to be next to this water. It allows me to be able to be in the trees and the woods. It allows me to be able to be out and meet new people and see new dogs and see new items and see new everything. And it's not only just, this is the thing that I believe that dogs are absolutely amazing with, is because they are primarily an outside type animal. We're just trying to bring them inside nowadays. But since they're primarily outside, they kind of force us as humans to also be outside. And at the end of the day, I can say us as human beings are also outside animals. We're not really inside. We go to sleep inside, but most cases we're primarily out. And there's a lot of places around the world still that, I mean, us here in the United States of America, we live such a premium life, like a oh my goodness, a premium life. So I've been to other places, especially my time being in Afghanistan, seeing people that don't have, they're sleeping outside. And it's not because they're homeless. They have homes, but their homes are outside. So that's the normal for us, is to be out, not to really be in. And the dogs get us to start to get back to our natural element of being out and doing stuff. And that really just, I don't know how to say it, is more beneficial as far as therapy, I'm going to say, than actually trying to go to someone that's trying to be a therapist for you. Just going out and doing things. It does something to you. And if you're a person like, I'm too shy and I'm too scared, your dog can be the one to, like, get you out to intermingle into the world again, to go to a park somewhere and just, oh, you got a dog just like mine, and just spark conversation. Oh, your dog really likes to play with mine. Oh, and then I don't know what it is, but these dogs are capable of, like, helping us in ways to get back to being who we truly are, as opposed to just running away. And unfortunately, most of the dog training stuff is kind of like forcing us to just keep running away. Your dog's not this, your dog's not that. You got to get your dog away. You got to keep your dog out of here. Don't go here with your dog. Don't do this with your dog. Don't be about this with your dog. And it's like, it's forcing you more into a box. And I want you to get out of that and just be able to explore the world.